As expected, visiting Newton City has replenished my reserves after they've been worn down by a week of trading. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Fud's playing World End Economica. We're enjoying the game so far, and we'll carry on playing it, shall we? Paying no heed to the temptations of consumerism found in the bit bustling streets, I headed straight back to a church. The scenery changed so much that it appeared as if I was no longer on the same lunar surface. Even now I started seeing more and more buildings on the verge of collapsing. There were people draping fishing lines into the canals and people growing their own food to cut costs. There were people selling steam buns, people resurfacing knives, and even people repairing shoes on contract. It was a place filled with bustling life, far removed from a realm of high profits. Clicking my tongue with no one in particular, I jumped past the throngs of buildings and whilst making my way back. While getting yelled at by an old fellow, I jumped off a rooftop of a 4-storey building and flew into the air. I could see the lunar Chinese restaurant off in the distance. Looking around, I could also see the dirty building-lined streets that Big Bull Cafe was on, as well as my favourite tunnel that opened up into a hill. However, it was impossible to stay in the air forever. Thus, I descended gradually with a gravity of 1/6 of that of Earth tugging at me. I observed my inertia by bending my knees, then flew up for one last time to cover more ground. It's not like I could do this outside of past and a few people passing by. Depending on the circumstances, I could get pursued by police on grounds of dangerous behaviour. However, this speeding sensation was simply unbearably awesome. It was totally suited for me, having just rejuvenated by Newton City. Well, it's time to get out cranking and looking for stocks that will bring me money. I moment opened the door and walked in. No, stop! A shrill voice resounded in the air. For a second I wondered if I just walked into the wrong church. But it didn't seem to be the right case, I could still hear the voice. I do like the picture of a church, it's a nice church. No, stop! Stop it! It sounded like it was coming from the halls of a main building. My mind spun in circles for a few seconds and cleared up immediately. A burglar? And the voice was Hagana? Even though she was a damn cheeky, arrogant woman, she was still a woman. I jumped off the back of the pews, flew over them and dashed down the hall. I heard a shriek and the sound of something getting flipped over. I opened the half-closed door that led into the living room, threw over my backpack and made a tight fist. By now my head was swimming in adrenaline. My body was fully primed for battle. The only thought in my head was advice I'd heard from a guerrilla fighter in the Caucasus region. It was said that yelling while jumping into a situation had a negative effect. Rushing in grabbed people's attention easily. However, if you could drop down right away, you'd disappear from their sight and approach the target swiftly. Then, once you're in range, you'd get up in one go and apply overwhelming force. If your opponent was armed with a gun, just jump off to the side, he wouldn't be able to hit you. If you wielded a blade, just go straight for him, it's not as scary as you think. Now if he's unarmed, just do whatever. That's a weird guy with a moustache. I aimed at a dude who just trashed the room and took a swing at him. I planted my feet with all my strength, increasing the friction, increasing the effect of mass and thus the power of my punch. As long as your mass was low, the power of your attack would only be what Newton's third law gave you. My punch made a clean hit of my opponent, who had just turned towards me in surprise with a nice sounding smack. The punch went through unhindered. That seemed to be enough. I got pulled along by the inertia of my punch, and by the time I stopped spinning with my foot, my opponent spun awkwardly and collapsed right there. He wasn't passed out, but it might have gone a concussion. His eyes were zoned out, his hands, which looked like they were trying to grab onto something, were trembling and stiff. Preparing myself to kick him out into the air at that moment's notice, I called out Hagana without averting my gaze one bit. You okay? In the corner of my eyes I could sort of make out a figure clad entirely in black. Still so less brown. It was Hagana. She was standing motionlessly in silence, stuck against a wall. No audible reply came back. However, she was silent not because of the usual arrogance factor, but because she was simply unable to speak. The man grabbed onto his fallen sofa with one hand and tried to prop himself back up somewhat. I grabbed that hand and twisted it upwards. I squeezed the bony part of his wrist and twisted it upwards and outwards. His body fell over easily, and with extreme pain made intruder's thoughts quite clear. Hey, what are you? Those are my words after I rotated his arm back, putting me in a position to let me apply additional pressure at any time. My God, what a wuss. This guy was a middle-aged man about the same height as me, and a grimy appearance as well as frizzled hair that mostly thinned out. He looked like quite a crafty guy. I looked past the man at Hagana, Didn't look like he had assaulted or anything. The only thing I could see was the corner of her damn cheeky eyes that got red and hands were trembling a bit. If you don't answer properly, I'll kill you. Even if you remain silent, I'll kill you. I knew many deserted lots, I also knew ruffians who came from war-torn regions on Earth. In place there was a possibility of maybe just one murder a year. My threat probably sounded like a child's bluff. However, that appraisal depended on the circumstances. The man I subdued pretty much instantaneously let out a horse shriek. I twisted his arm lightly and asked him again. What are you, a burglar? Did you know? That's okay to punish a burglar by killing him. This time his shriek was quite clear. Wait, please don't kill me. I'll depend on the circumstances. What's the mess in this room? Enlighten me. I twisted his arm some more. He let out a squeal. I knew when he managed to make Haganah cower in fear. She was surprisingly feminine and totally out of it. It's a misunderstanding. I'm not a burglar, no way. So what are you? I'd hardly expect some neighbour to come over for tea and get angry enough to flip over a sofa, send a table flying with a kick, and rip out the carpet. The room really did look that way, like a building marked for demolition. Furthermore, I myself heard Haganah shouting for him to stop. And also her hand was trembling. Oh, but it wasn't my fault. It's her. It's her fault. Oh yeah? Well, aren't you a self-righteous burglar? I'm not a burglar. It's true. I'm a debt collector. Debt collector? That's right. I've come to collect some old money. It's just a job. I don't think I was lying, but I decided to look over at Haganah anyway. After Haganah stared at the suffering man, she noticed my gaze and turned towards me in surprise. Is that the case? When asked, she paused for a second and nodded. I clicked my tongue and let the man go. The man crawled along the floor to run away, then turned around. What the? Oh, it's just a brat. You think I'm a brat? Want to go for round two? Trading my body would really be convenient for a lot of things. Debt collector shook his head violently and looked up at me through servile eyes. So, a debt collector's one of those types, eh? We even have a right to do all this? Well, I figured, so what are we going to do? Huh? I said, what should we do? Should we call the cops, or are we really going to do some debt collecting? Debt collector clearly gulped. However, afterwards he lowered his gaze. And most have been elected all night in detention. Besides, if you call the cops, I'll just read a missed loan statement. Don't really want to, since this cost me some fees, but I could totally just go get the courts and foreclosure on you. Well, aren't we a spunky one? Me and my knee up to scoot over him, but he suddenly pulled back, so I was unable to force him down anymore. And with that I remembered one thing from my training. If your opponent stops shielding, go for negotiations. Well, you'll hear the interest fees, right? Yeah, you understand, right? In this world, you can't just borrow money and refuse to show them the smallest signs of paying back. Besides, I totally got treated like trash. Debt collector glanced over at Haganah. Following his lead, he also looked over. She was cowering against a wall, pinned like a pinned butterfly. When the money was lent out, it was all humility and everything, you know? Well, I guess it was Lisa who was lowering her head. Well, I can kind of see that. Oh, you see, right? Why don't I put up with being called dung beetle or space trash? Looking at Haganah past a grumbling debt collector, I could see her looking downwards and staring at us with sullen, childish eyes. Besides, I'm not like asking for the entire principal back. I know it's impossible anyway, but this is also a business, so I'd like the interest to pay back at the least. And as he said that, there's no money here for you. Haganah yelled out. The debt collector shrugged and turned towards me. See? Told ya. He's probably right. I even decided resignation and looked up at him. So, how much? What? For interest. How much is it? Oh. His face lit up. Don't tell me you're gonna... Depends on the amount. Ugh. Saying too much might result in the offer's retraction, but saying too little might end up losing money. I could see the guy tackling this question in his mind for a moment, and he finally came up with an answer. 200 moles. I remember how Lisa reacted when I gave her 200 moles, so which is it, huh? So that's this month's interest, or this year's interest. This month's. This is my top blew over and I did a bunch of things. This is lower than usual. It's actually 6% annual interest on 50,000 more principal. Compound interest is kind of annoying, so I just said it. At 250 moles a month. Since I totally thought it was just some shade of loan deal, surprised with a relatively low interest rate here. To hide my surprise, I offered him coldly. Show me the loan agreement. What? At first the debt collector was speechless, but eventually reluctantly showed it to me. The numbers he quoted were certainly written down here. I sighed again and stuck my hand in my pocket. Here. I went out of 100 more bits, so I carefully counted out 200 more's worth of bills and handed it to him. He reached out carefully as if I would smack him a moment he laid his hand on my money. After receiving the money, he hunched over my money and counted furtively. It's good. Alright. Well then, I'll be up. Huh? Wait up! Stretched his leg quickly with my foot and leg, causing him to fall over. When I got up, walked over him to put my knee in his face and squatted down. You got some nerve not giving me a receipt. Aren't you a student? Talking about money doesn't bother me. You tell me. After I said that, the debt collector resigned himself, cut me a receipt, and returned dejectedly. I leaned against the magnificent door of his church, and reached on a crucified man, and saw off a man's faint silhouette before looking back at the receipt in my hand. 200 moles of interest was probably a large amount of money in these parts. If I wanted to earn 200 moles with a job lease offered to refer me to, it would take 4 to 5 days' worth of income to come up with that amount. Furthermore, in that period of time there would be food expenses and rent, along with other consumables and such that must be paid. In other words, low income meant you couldn't save up money. If you couldn't save up money, you couldn't invest. And if you couldn't invest, you'd be forced to make money by selling your time forever. A shovel could not fill a giant hole. You can only fill a giant hole by pushing a snowball down a hill until it snowballed into enormous proportions. I actually hadn't seen snow before, but I had heard advice about investments and really liked this particular analogy involving snowballs. Simply put, that's why these 200 moles weren't just 200 moles to me. And so it could become 10,000 moles or even 1,000,000 moles in the future. When these returns, I'd have to get my money back. At least I saw her putting 200 moles in a cupboard. I wasn't going to let her just say she didn't have it. While pondering that, I crossed a prayer hall and returned to the living room. Hagana was putting her furniture back in place. She was emotionless, but somehow I got the feeling she was angry. It was probably the rough way she was handling the overturned table and kicked up carpet. I'd prefer not to refer to her by something that would give me off an aura of prettiness, such as girl. However, Hagana unmistakably possessed a delicate XX chromosome. She was weak in the body and she was strong in spirit. It would be a different story if you just had arrived from Earth. For people who had lived on the moon for a long time and had gotten accustomed to a low gravity, would only be able to deliver a proportionately low amount of force as well. So he was trying to put a big sofa back in its place, but it wasn't going too well. She must have noticed me standing in the doorway, but she hadn't asked for any help. She looked like she was just short of telling me she wouldn't ask for help from the likes of me. I thought she was a cheeky girl. There was no obligation for me to help. Besides, she hadn't even thanked me yet. I walked past the doorway and was about to go back to my room. And a voice just as I was passing Hagana. Why won't you help? She couldn't move the sofa back into place because she couldn't lift it all the way up and the leg was stuck. She tried picking up from a different angle, but none of these attempts worked. Even though she was panting lightly, her eyes were fixated on the table with the weight of a dumbbell. Furthermore, it looked like her princess hubris was in full force. I sighed heavily and replied to her, "Why do I need to help if I haven't been asked?" Sure enough, Hagana lowered her head. With a slender chin and slender neck, her lowering her head made a textbook example of a delicate girl. Her eyebrows wrinkled as I wondered she was really putting on a show. When she answered me with the following. "Yeah," I asked, "would you help?" I could feel my face twitching. When I got mad now, I hate myself for acting like a baby, hence I prepared myself and answered, "Yeah. Help me out." I looked back in Hagana with surprise. She was staring back at me with pure black eyes. "Are you deaf?" Again with red, not black. She continued with a 1-2 combo, just like relentless princess with a whip. If they push, retreat. When retreat, push. Hagana's great at arguments. While feeling regret, I really had to help her now, but I said I would. Alright, I get it. Shit. What was that last one? She asked him to repeat what I said, and I clicked my tongue angrily. Hearing that, Hagana totally looked condescendingly at me, wondering what was with this baboon. felt it was not in my best interest to let Hagano into view, so I averted my eyes and put my hand on the fallen sofa, lifting it up without bending my knees. Lifting it above her body height was a little bit of a rebellion on my part. Keeping it in position, I asked her, "Oh, where would you like me to place my lady?" I asked her, injecting ample amounts of disdain into my tone. However, Hagano didn't show any signs of caring. She just looked over a carpet and immediately pondered. Seems my disdain raised not an inch of ire from her. She really got on my nerves. The rear leg should line up with his spot. The chauffeur should place perpendicular to this way. After being instructed briefly, I lowered the sofa and she instructed me, since I didn't feel like nitpicking. It's a bit crooked. Being told that, I gritted my molars, took a deep breath, and was somehow able to suppress my anger. Is it okay now? Satisfied? Yeah, it looks that way. Hagano nodded, turned around, and immediately started collecting various little items scattered around the floor. No word of appreciation came my way. I wasn't expecting to be any to begin with, but I ended up feeling anger similar to disappointment. In a village where I grew up, if you did something for someone, I'd thank you for it. If someone did something for you, you'd return the favour, of course. The culture over there, which I had considered simple, crude and outdated, had somehow rooted itself strongly in me. I scratched my head while trying to contemplate all the differences between Hagano and me. I got into a bad mood again, waiting for wonderful resuscitation I enjoyed from Schrödinger Street. Maybe I should stroll through Red Valley or sometime. On top of that, if I associated with Hagano anymore, it would be a possibility I may end up laying hands on her. Of course, I didn't mean in a sexual sense, but in a physical violence sense. I was about to leave the living room and walk into the hallway leading the inner rooms. And then, the episode end. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.